Oh, hey,
Hi.
everything's chaotic.
I know it is. You've had a bit of a mare, haven't you?
Oh my God.
What a mare.
Yeah, just going to have a moan.
Oh, all right then.
All right, just let me get it out of my system. So, computer broken. Tried everything this morning to get it to sort itself out. Just wouldn't happen, wouldn't repair itself, wouldn't do a diagnostic, nothing. And now, dead. Dead, dead, dead. So that's fun. Um, I've got all our episode stuff, but I think a lot of the designs that I had for merch gone. So that's annoying.
That's so sad. I hadn't even thought that when you was like, computer's gone. I was like, oh, never mind.
Yeah, I know.
Whoops.
It's I've got two computers. One I do like the pod and the editing on, which is this one, and the other one I do all the other stuff. So yeah, that's dead. So that's great.
Oh.
Car was broke, had it fixed. Then one of the headlights broke, tried to fix it. Sort of works, but it's like it's off center. So I think it's probably going to be blinding people. So I
Oh.
need to sort that out. Yeah, but it's all good. It's all good. It's not getting me down. It's just one of
Good.
those things where I think, yeah, it's about right.
You just laugh at it, didn't you?
Yeah.
When it's been one after the other, you're like, oh, that one now. God.
Oh, yeah, cool. Of course it'd be my car that broke. Yeah, of course
Course
it'd
it
be
is.
my computer. Yeah. But it's just one of those things. And I apologise for not being able to record yesterday. And as a result, we are a day late. But that is because we had a scheduled power cut and they just cut our power for like the whole day.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
You live in the dark ages. You've had to shit outside.
No, it really is. It really is. Everyone was like normal about it. Everyone was just like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, fine. Yeah, that's just
You,
normal. And I was like,
yeah.
what? We can't be without power for the whole day. But then when something really stupid and mundane, like our village kicks off if someone lets their dog poop and doesn't pick it up. You got to bear in mind, we are literally in the middle of like the countryside as well.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not even as if people's dogs are pooping right outside people's doors.
Yeah.
It's
Just in
like,
a nearby field.
yeah, they're pooping on like a dirt road that's not even really like a pathway or anything. And the dogs, there's like, and it's to the side as well. And they're like, oh, I've taken a photo. I'm going to name and shame. And it's just, yeah, it's just like the worst thing.
So
And
funny.
yeah, but yeah, a whole power cut for the whole day. Everyone's just like, yeah, that's fine. We'll be indoors
Oh,
knitting anyway.
that's literally what I've been doing. I've been crocheting, even though I have full power.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, you have had a bit of a rough time. I, however, had a great couple of days.
Oh, that's amazing.
Me and Hayley went to we went to this, like, it's called Think Forensics, and it is in
Yeah.
Yorkshire.
Yorkshire.
So we went to Yorkshire, right near Barnsley. All the way there, I kept saying to Hayley, let's stop in Barnsley. And she was like, what are you doing?
She was like, just stop.
Stop it. I was like, we're just driving past Barnsley. She was like, I've no idea what you're doing. And then when we got there, no, she doesn't appreciate anything I do. She's at that age when nothing is fun. There's no joy in life. But when we got there and they started speaking like that, she was like, oh, see what you're doing now.
Barnsley.
But we got to be crime scene investigators for the day,
Oh,
for
that's
half a
awesome.
day. And that was really cool because that's what Hayley wants to do. She wants to be a crime scene investigator.
Oh,
She wants to go into crime scenes and look for all the evidence and whatnot. So that is what we did, and that was real fun for us.
That was amazing. What sort of things did you get to do?
So at first they stick you in a room and they teach you how to properly fingerprint stuff. Like fingerprint stuff on porous things like paper, and also lift fingerprints from like bottles and things like that. And then how to cast like shoe prints, tire prints, things like that.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yep. And even like how to do it in the snow, because the stuff that they use to with like it's like not plaster cast, but it's something like that. But it heats up. The reaction of the water and the mixture heats up, and then it solidifies quite quickly within 20 minutes. But obviously you can't do that in snow because it will melt the footprint. So then they even like taught us how to do that. So
I didn't know they could take footprints and tire prints and things in snow.
Yeah, well, they can. They can.
And now you can.
Yeah, and they taught us as well about, they gave us an actual murder that had happened, an actual investigation that had happened. And then they talked us through, Suzanne went missing, this is what happened, blah, blah, blah. Right. This is the budget that is allocated. So it costs £250 for every speck of blood that you want to get tested. It costs $5,000 to get a sniffer dog in. It costs all this amount, blah, blah, blah. And and then it goes through the team of people that they need for an investigation. So for the officers, the investigation officers, they then need like people to do the paperwork for the chain of command and like the evidence things, loads and loads and loads of people. And it all came to 17.5 grand a day to look for Susan, right?
Jesus.
They were allocated $5,000. So when they don't have the budget, they have to go to the government and then petition to get more funding. Blimey. So it was a real eye-opener of like behind the scenes, because you think, oh, how did they not catch that person? Or how did they not do that? But if you've got like a gunshot, something, and there's blood spat out all over the wall, you have to choose what to take into evidence because it is so expensive. So you have to be real choosy about what you send off for testing or what you don't. And yeah, honestly, it's crazy. And I learned a random blam from it. So random blam, go. So I've actually got 2 random blams. So one random blam from what I got from the forensics thing, and another random blam that was sent to us by Matt, because Matt now has become obsessed with giving me great facts, which I love.
Nice.
So let me find the fact. I think the fact was that Australia was the first place to give women votes, the opportunity to vote.
Oh, was it?
Australia. We love Australia. Of course it was them.
Yeah.
They do everything so fairly. So of course it was Australia to give women rights.
And we gave them criminals.
We did give them criminals, and probably those criminals that then went into the justice system and
yeah.
So that's a cool fact. But also the fact that I found out from the crime scene place, it was about the amount of paperwork that needs to be done. Like they said to us, when we go to our own crime scene, which we did, and you want to take this bottle into evidence, you need to document that it's going into evidence, and then that needs to be documented. If you pass it on to somebody, they need to document that they've had it, and it needs to be like a chain of all this paperwork. And he said what sparked the start of online paperwork for the police was the Yorkshire Ripper case. Because the Yorkshire Ripper case at one point had so much paperwork that the the investigation room floor had to be reinforced due to the weight of all of the files and the paperwork.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I thought
that was really cool. That's how much like paperwork went into the Yorkshire Ripper case.
That's mad though, isn't it? Like when you think about like solving a case, you literally feel like it's someone sitting in a room, like in the films, I guess, and they're going, yeah, it could be this or it could be that. I'm just going to check this, and I found a cigarette butt at the scene, and they drop it into a bag, and then that's pretty much all you see of it. But
yeah, but it's really not like it's that. So much, because obviously when it gets to court, if there's a small chink in the armor, and they go, well, that's cigarette butt.
Changed hands. So
changed hands. Yeah. So how did it get from your hand to that hand? It could have been tampered with. So that's now not in evidence. So it's proper like an arse covering exercise.
Yeah.
Which takes up so much time from actually solving the crime.
It's funny, isn't it? Because I think with a lot of careers, there's a lot of paperwork and red tape and things like that we just don't ever hear about or really appreciate how much goes into it. Even my sister, who really, really always wanted to be a midwife, so she went all through uni, she did all her qualifications, she did it, and I spoke to her I don't know, maybe 6 months in, and she said, do you know what, I do love it, but I don't love it as much as I thought I would, because
it's not about helping the baby.
She said, I spend 90% of my time in the office writing up the paperwork side of it than I do with the actual women who are giving birth. And she was like, it's kind of ruined it for me.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that's something that you don't ever really honestly think about.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, if you didn't have a piece of paperwork and something went wrong, it's pointless, isn't it? So I suppose you need to show your tracks. But
absolutely.
Oh yeah. Well, my random blam, I had in my head to do 2, so that's good. Is another 2 Christmas jokes.
Yay! I love that carrot one. I've told a few people that.
Get out of my face.
Get out of my face.
I really like these 2, particularly the second one. A gingerbread man went into the doctor's complaining of a sore knee. A sore knee, the doctor said. Have you tried icing it?
Nah.
And the second one, which is my favourite. Last Christmas, I bought my friend a lie detector as a gift. Oh, I love it, she said. We'll see, I said. I just really love that. Oh, I love it. We'll see.
Yeah, all right.
Let's
see what the results say. Good one, like that one.
Yeah. So on that note, random blabs. Done. Well, before we start the episode, I really struggled with this episode, and it's an episode, or it's a subject. It's a cryptid one. And it's one that I've really wanted to do pretty much from day one. But the more I researched it, the more I've kind of talked myself out of it and then back into it and then out of it again. And I'm like...
What, out of it being a cryptid or just a decent story?
I mean, I've got like the facts and the reports and all the rest of it. I just don't know if I buy it. Whereas like Mothman, I believe. Mothman, I believe.
Yeah.
Loch Ness Monster, I believe. Like, there's so many cryptids that I can think of that I think, yeah, I actually do believe that. This one really struggled with, and then I started thinking maybe it's this, and we just assume it's cryptid, and maybe it's this. So I'll be really keen to hear what you think.
All right.
Shall we episode?
Let's episode then.
All right. Morning, wintry morning to you all.
Oh gosh, isn't it just the most wintry morning? I woke up and I could hear the wind and the rain, and I thought, oh, I don't know. No,
I know. And Lewis refuses to wear a coat to school.
So does Hayley.
I was like, do your lot not have lockers at school? Because I used to have a school locker.
So did I, come to think of that. No, I don't think they do.
Now it's not a thing.
No, because she will not take her PE bag and her handbag. It's one or the other.
Yeah, Lewis doesn't take his handbag.
No. Oh, that's a shame.
I know. No, he did take a school bag and his PE kit. And then on the first day, he came home, no PE bag, no PE kit. And I was like, "Where's your PE bag?" He went, "Oh, I lost it at lunch." And then we went back out to look for it, and we looked everywhere, but we couldn't find it. And I was like, "Did you go to lost property?" Yes. Was it there? No. Okay, great. So that was a whole brand new PE kit worn on that day. That's it. And he lost it. So we had to replace the whole PE kit. But what we've done is we've made it small enough, like a small enough PE bag, that he can actually stuff that in his school bag.
Oh.
We're like, do not take it out.
That seems silly. Why doesn't he just stick his PE stuff in his school bag? Why you've got a bag in a bag?
Oh, it's really thin little drawstring bag, because otherwise he's pulling his stuff out and he'll end up pulling a sock out or whatever and losing it. But so he can't wear a coat, and Jess didn't either. She refused to wear a coat because otherwise they have to carry it all day.
Yeah.
And they're like, I mean, God forbid. And I was like, I used to carry my coat.
Yeah.
I had a school locker, but I didn't used to
just
go there
it around my waist like the cool kid.
Just like you got your bag over your shoulder anyway. It's not gonna. You can have something in your hands, but anyway, he refuses.
It's not cool to carry a coat. I'm glad you've brought that up actually, because I thought it was just Hayley, but it is such a chore to get her to take a coat to school. It will be absolutely chucking it down, and she's like, "Oh, my hair's gonna get wet," and I'm like, "Take your coat then." Oh no,
take your coat.
No, I'd rather get
flipping hood up.
Yeah, I'd rather get wet through and have to sit the 6 hours through school than take a fucking coat.
In damp, cold clothes. It's mind-blowing to me why they wouldn't just want to be warm and dry.
Hello. I think as you get older, you take comfort over things, don't you?
Definitely.
But it's so funny because she's like, "Oh no, I'm not taking a coat. That's not cool." But then she'll like do the stupidest thing with their hair and go, "What is this?" She'll go to school with a spot patch on her face, a big star on her face, but she won't carry a coat because that's not cool. And I'm like, well, you look ridiculous anyway, so just whack a coat on.
Yeah, at least you'll be warm and ridiculous.
Stupid. Kids are stupid.
Kids are ridiculous, honestly. I was like, it's absolutely hammering it down.
Yeah.
Like, why don't? And he was like, and I know that means no. And I was like, all right, well, you're going to have to work something out. So we're going to try and get him one of those, like just a coggle, like a Mac.
Oh, right.
So that he won't be warm, but
it'll be dry.
He'll be dry.
Yeah.
And then he can just take it off and stuff it in his bag and make all his school stuff wet. So that'd be good.
All right, this episode, because we can go on all day about kids.
All right. Today's episode is going to be about the Pukwudgie.
The Pukwudgie?
Pukwudgie.
I've never heard of it.
Well, this is part of my problem. So apparently the Pukwudgie is native to Massachusetts. I have spent many weeks and days in Massachusetts, and I have never even heard of the Pukwudgie. Now, I may have been not in that frame of mind. Maybe the Pukwudgie is everywhere in Massachusetts, and I just didn't notice. Don't know.
Maybe it's seasonal.
Maybe it is. But I'll tell you a little bit about what a Pukwudgie is. So it's reportedly a small human-like figure originating from the Wampanoag. Do you know what? I practiced this and practiced it, and now it's gone out of my head. Wampanoag. I think it's Wampanoag, actually, because I was thinking, think eggnog. Wampanoag. Which is a people of Wampanoag, and it's northeastern United States, especially as I said, Massachusetts and Rhode Island. It's apparently widely known in folklore. The creature continues to feature in modern eyewitness accounts. And I've got a timeline going towards the end, which did actually blow my mind, which I should have heard of it. I should have heard of it. If it's been going on for all these years, I should have heard of it, and I didn't. It's very common, apparently, in the Bridgewater Triangle region. Reports describe behaviour ranging from harmless and mischievous to deliberately harmful. According to Wampanoag descriptions, it's about 2 to 3 feet tall, so only tiny, like Claire size. Mm-hmm. Its skin is grey to light grey, sometimes described as faintly glowing. It's got a large nose, long ears, and exaggerated facial structure. So to me, it kind of looks a little bit like what you'd imagine a small troll to look like.
Mm-hmm.
Their eyes are reported as unusually large, like mine, or kind of reflective, like you would have from like a cat, animals, that sort of thing. So it's human-like, but slightly distorted. It appears older or wrinkled, despite it being a small size. It's hairless or nearly hairless, not nearly hairless.
Nearly.
How can you be nearly hairless?
I was just going to do that.
Nearly headless? How can you be nearly headless?
Nearly hairless. Yeah, so it's nearly hairless, so maybe slightly wispy. It's child-sized, but not childlike. Movements described as very quick, smooth, and unnervingly silent. Traditionally, apparently, Pukwudgies are considered a type of forest spirit. So this is from the Wampanoag lore. Their behaviour ranges, like I said, from playful to extremely dangerous. Reported abilities include being able to turn invisible. So they'll literally, like, you'll see them and think, what the fuck? And then it'll go poof and disappear. It creates ethereal lights to lure travellers. It seems to be a bit of a alluring spirit. Like every time it's seen, it tries to lure you towards
what was that one that you did recently? And it was like,
I haven't done any recently. I don't know what you're talking about.
It was like on the rocks, and it was hairless and had really big eyes, but it had someone described it as having webbed feet. That was hairless.
God, what was that? I don't think that was a cryptid. I think that was a like alien thing, wasn't it?
So yes, I can't even remember what episode it was, but that's what I'm thinking
I can't remember. Yeah,
that's what I'm picturing.
It's because they were quite like big head with long, like they were a bit amphibian-y, weren't they? Like,
yeah, they had really long gangly arms.
Yeah, this is more short, stocky, stumpy, old and wrinkly, big nose, long sort of hooked ears, more like humanoid. But it seems to lure travellers anyway. It can shapeshift into animals. And unlike any of the other cryptids that I know of anyway, this one seems to use poisoned darts or arrows. So this one is packing, unlike all the others. Although I'd be interested to know where it keeps its like bow and arrow and things, because it's naked. Maybe it's got a like kangaroo pouch. Sticks it. Anyway, it leads people off of the safe path, and it's known for kidnapping children or attempting to kidnap children or attacking individuals. The adults it seems to attack. The children it seems to want or take.
Oh.
I know. According to legend, the Pukwudgies are believed to have become openly hostile towards humans more often than not. Eyewitness accounts from the 20th and 21st century exactly mirror the older stories of the Pukwudgies. So they appear suddenly on trails or roads. Sorry, I found a mince pie and I stuffed it just before I ate it, and I've just suddenly realised I've got it all in my lap.
Mince pie crummies.
Sorry about that. Yeah, it frightened me. Yeah, so it appears on trails and roads. It vanishes instantly. And the most creepy part of this, which is giving me Black-Eyed Kids vibes, it mimics human voices. It doesn't speak enough sort of to make sense, but it mimics, and it sounds like it doesn't really know what that means, but it just kind of like that, like the Black-Eyed Kid that said, can I at least have some ketchup for my apple?
Yeah.
You know, and we were like, what? But he's just like mimicking it. The voice that they often mimic is children. So it will be, most reports seem to say that they heard like a child crying or calling for help and that kind of thing, which obviously most adults, not me, but most adults would be like, oh, a child's in trouble, I must go and help. And then they go towards the sound of the child's voice.
You know, like what happened in Hercules, when they turn into the human, they're like, help, help, and then Hercules goes running.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think they got that from this.
Oh.
They cause disorientation and intense fear. They will quite often throw small stones or objects. They will shadow and follow hikers or hunters, normally around dusk. Although Pukwudgie folklore exists throughout southern New England, modern sightings cluster heavily in the following: Freetown State Forest in Massachusetts, and this is part of the Bridgewater Triangle. And common reports include small grey humanoids that are seen on the trails, phantom voices that seem to come from nowhere, and when they follow it, they'll suddenly hear the voice behind them. They turn, follow the voice in that direction. Where are you? Where are you? And then the voice will appear behind them again. And they're like, what's going on? Which actually reminds me a lot of the Stephen King book. I think it's called In the Tall Grass or The Tall Grass or Tall Grass. And they go in, they're lured into oh my God, it's very like it. They're lured into this tall grass like field because they can hear a child saying, help me, please help me. We're in the field and we're lost. So they go in and then they can't get out. And although they've only walked 3 or 4 feet into the field of the tall grass, when they jump and look over, they're actually miles from the road. They can't ever get out. But yeah, that's what it reminds me of. Anyway. So other than these phantom voices and being disorientated, they feel sudden pushes or tugs on their clothes. They feel followed or watched. There's a place called Ashen Ledge, which by all accounts seems to be like a cliff area. And that's the ledge. But people will go there on hikes because, you know, it's a lovely view and it's breathtaking. You can stand on top of this ledge and go, oh my God, it's beautiful. But when they do, they feel a sudden push from behind them, like down low on them, like a child would push, like in the back of their legs or on their butt. And then they sort of, obviously steady themselves, turn round, and all they can see is like a small figure at the tree line by the ledge. And then instantly it's disappeared. Several accounts of that. Then we've got Taunton, Dartmouth, and Fall River woodlands, and these common reports. So there's multiple reports of these same things. They hear childlike crying with no visible source. They get disorientated, trying to find the source of the crying. They see grey figures darting between the trees, small footprints, which you could take a cast of, which would be very handy. And the small footprints suddenly stop. No, and then they're gone. So
Stephen Kabaki.
Follow them, yeah. Follow them. I'd be terrified because I'd be like, yep, it's going this way, it's going, oh, it's stopped. And then I'd be like, oh my God, it's above me, isn't it? And then a short, wrinkly, wispy, naked troll will drop out the tree. Yeah, I'm not going back to Massachusetts. So there's some documented eyewitness accounts. Number 1 is case 1, Freetown State Forest jogger report, and this was in the early 2000s, which I can appreciate is like probably 20 years ago or more.
Don't say that. It makes me feel sick.
I know. I was just about to say, so a very recent one, and then I suddenly thought, actually, that's not recent. So this is local witness statement from Bridgewater Triangle Investigations. So that's where this report has come from. It was reported to Bridgewater Triangle Investigations. I don't know what that is. A male jogger observed a small grey human-like figure crossing the path ahead of him at dusk. He estimated it to be between 2 and 3 feet tall. It had oversized eyes, greyish, hairless skin, a long, almost snout-like nose, and when he stopped moving, the figure raised what he described as a tiny bow or stick-like weapon. He shit himself and legged it straight away.
Official report.
Yep, that's what's actually in the report. Shit himself. Later, he reported a brief burning sensation on his shoulder, although no injury or mark was found. I just don't think I'd run. I think I'd be like, what are you? What are you? Come here. I'll just take, hang on, wait there. Look. I'd have to. I mean, it's 2000. He must have had a phone.
I don't know. I feel like you would be like, shit, what is that? Especially if they raised a bow. I think you wouldn't just be like, oh, that's cute.
I guess. I mean, I've seen The Hills Have Eyes. So if I'm in a forest and there's any sign of a bow and arrow, I'm out there. I just think I'd be so curious, though. I'd be like, finally.
Well, your curiosity will get you killed, so that'll be that.
Yeah. I know. I did nearly get trampled by the tapir when I went in there. She was like, he's rolling. And I was like, no, it's fine. And then he kind of rolled onto my feet, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to be stuck here until like this tapir gets up. But yeah, could have easily been killed, but I'm all right with that. Case 2 is Taunton Phantom Child Voice, and this was reported by multiple witnesses and paranormal researchers that went to the location. So several groups...
because could it be ghosties?
Could be.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's a couple of things in here where I'm like, that could potentially open it up to something else.
All right.
So, yeah, paranormal researchers went. Several groups were walking through woodland on the path in Taunton. They reported hearing what sounded like childlike sobs in the distance. They followed these cries and it just moved deeper into the forest, but they seemed to be no nearer to this crying. Eventually, this is creepy as fuck, this. Eventually, the crying kind of changed slightly and it turned into adult-like laughter before abruptly stopping, and then it was silent. No actual being was found. It was just this constant, crying, and then all of a sudden it was loud laughter. The incident is consistent with the Wampanoag claims of Pukwudgies mimicking human voices. And then we've got case number 3, which is Ashenet Ledge again. This is from local police logs and anecdotal reports. Hikers and visitors have repeatedly claimed to feel a sudden shove near the edge of the ledge when, even when they're completely alone, when it's just them. No hands or figures were seen at the moment of contact. In multiple cases, small moving shapes were reportedly seen retreating into the trees immediately afterwards. So that a lot of people thought that it was kids, but kind of couldn't really get their head around why would there be kids all the way out here and so close to the ledge without any adults. If they're with adults, why would the adults think that that's okay for their kids to try and push them over the edge? But it's weird because what I struggle with that is how much of a shove was it? Like, because there's multiple reports of people feeling like they're being shoved. Are they doing it to, like, what's the motive?
Just to shit them up.
Yeah. Are they doing it to shit them up? Are they doing it to, give them a shove and then run into the woods so in the hope that they'll chase them and
Follow
go,
them,
what are you doing, you fucking idiot? Or are they genuinely trying to push them over and they're just maybe not very strong? Don't know.
Well, to me, it sounds like they are a little bit like a trickster.
Yeah.
So it could just be like trying to get them to follow him or just trying to like rile them up.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think if they truly meant to push someone over the edge, they probably could have done it by now. They've had enough tries. Or they'd go, do you know what? We're not strong enough to push them over the edge, so let's just not bother.
Yeah, that's clearly not working. Let's change tactics. Let's get our tiny little wooden bows out.
Switch it up, guys. Get this semi-automatic. That'll take them down.
Easy to come by.
Yeah. Case 4 is a roadside sighting. Bridgewater Triangle, and this is in the late 1990s. So really recent. The source comes from the driver's testimony that they gave to the police and the authorities. So it was a woman driving near the Bridgewater Triangle boundary. She swears down that she saw a grey, child-sized humanoid standing at the road edge at 1 a.m. Its head was
disproportionate. All right. Disproportionately.
Thanks. I'll edit that into me. Large. And its skin appeared smooth and grey and almost glowing. And it was that made her shit her pants. She accelerated at speed past the figure, and when she looked in the mirror and looked behind her, the figure was gone. Case 5 is observation from a hunter. And this is his official report that he made. So a hunter observed what he first thought was a small animal, and then it stood upright on its back legs. he realised that it was humanoid shape. He described it as under 3 foot tall. It had long arms, a large head, and pale grey skin. It stared at him for several seconds, and then it stepped backwards like Homer Simpson into the bush, backwards into the undergrowth, and disappeared. He went over to investigate, but there was no signs of anything, and he didn't see it come out of the undergrowth on the other side. So it just disappeared. So on the analysis of these patterns, there is massive consistency with all reports that match traditional folklore for the Pukwudgie. Modern reports echo the Wampanoag descriptions really, really closely. Same height, same coloration, same like vanishing behavior, leading people astray, mimicking human voices or cries, often a presence near cliffs or some sort of dangerous terrain. The environmental factors are sightings typically occur at dusk or early night. They are typical to appear during foggy or overcast conditions, in dense pine forests with limited visibility, near bodies of water or rocky ledges. And these conditions are also apparently ripe for optical illusions.
Oh.
But they also match the environments described in centuries old accounts. I don't know. Psychological considerations. Many encounters involve the person feeling a sense of dread, massive amounts of confusion and disorientation, sudden environmental stillness, like literally it feels like the wind stops rustling through the trees, the birds go silent, and it's eerily like, oh, you know that feeling when you're out and you suddenly think, have I gone deaf? Like, do you ever get that?
We call it a brain reset.
Yeah.
We go, oh, our brain's reset.
Oh,
yeah, your ear kind of goes off, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just like everything suddenly goes quiet and you think, I literally will do that because I think, oh, it's like click my fingers so that I can check that I can still hear.
Even though I had a stroke.
Yeah, exactly. These could be natural reactions to the isolation in the woods or part of the Pukwudgie's folkloric influence. For the Wampanoag, Pukwudgies occupy a serious place in traditional belief. They are not treated as mere myths, but as active spirit beings capable of harm. In some communities, speaking openly about the Pukwudgie is strongly discouraged, especially at night or in the woods. Unlike many Native American trickster figures, Pukwudgies are not honoured, they are feared. So I'm going to just skip to an actual report of so this gives us a bit more details about one of the reports of sightings of the Pukwudgie. So this is near that same ledge, Ashen Ledge. It was by a local fisherman named Bill Russo, and this was in 1990, and it was in the winter, and he was walking home late at night from his job in Lakeville, Massachusetts. He lived right along the border of Bridgewater Triangle, the area known for, as we've spoken about before, ghosts, UFOs, weird lights, and apparently Pukwudgies. This is a real person, and he retold his story dozens of times, and his story did not change once. So the night it happened, it was around 1 a.m, cold enough to make the air feel like sharp. He should have had some sort of like perplexed podcast merch. He'd walked this route hundreds of times, nothing strange, nothing spooky, just the trees, the crunch of frost and the silence. And then he heard a voice, a high-pitched, wandering little voice, say, "Hey, you, come here." Not a shout, not an echo, just a tiny, demanding voice coming from the dark. That's very similar to what I hear when I'm coming up to bed. I hear a tiny, demanding voice from the dark, and it's Claire going, "Can you make me a cup of tea?" This was not that. Bill, thinking that some kid was out way past his bedtime, looked around for a person, and that's when he saw it. Standing underneath a street lamp, fully lit, no shadows to hide in, was a small humanoid figure about 3 foot tall. Bill described it as greyish skin, a large head, large eyes, thin, wiry limbs, and a strange, unnerving grin. Not human, but definitely not animal either. And it was waving him over. What struck him the most is its voice didn't match its body. It sounded like a child trying to lure him close, but its face looked like, I would say like an old man, but it looked old. "Come here," it called again. "Come here. We see you." That shit me up. He said the voice was sing-songy. "We see you." Friendly, but in a way that felt really, really wrong. Like something copying human speech without really understanding what it was saying. The moment Bill realised something was off, he was like, I need to get out of there. And I've got to say, Bill wasn't someone that was easily rattled. He was a vet from Vietnam. He was a tough bloke. He wasn't particularly sort of superstitious or anything like that. He was a bloke, you know, did the typical, not really bothered by anything, you know, no, it's fine. It's probably the wind. It's fine. He definitely wasn't the type to be spooked by woodland gremlins. But the longer he looked at the creature, the more he felt something tighten in his chest. A feeling that he later described as, and this is a quote from him, like it wanted me not to talk to, but to take me somewhere. He also noticed something chilling. The creature wasn't standing on the ground. He said it looked like it was perched strangely, its feet not quite flat. And behind this creature was total blackness. No trees, no reflections, just a void. Bill did say he did what any sensible grown man does when confronted with a 3 foot glowing alien goblin demanding your soul. He turned around and walked away quickly. He didn't run, and he said specifically he didn't run because he had this feeling that if he ran, it would chase him. So he just walked away really quickly. He didn't look back at all, not even once. When Bill got home, his dog, who was normally calm and docile, refused to go outside the entire next day. Bill later found out that other locals had reported seeing a small grey creature on that same night. A woman claimed that she heard a tiny voice whisper, "Follow me," near the same path. Several hikers had reported being pushed near Ashen Ledge, and the Wampanoag description of Pukwudgies matched exactly what Bill saw. Bill never used that shortcut again. He never believed that it was a hallucination or a dream or a trick of the light. He absolutely was adamant that he knew what he saw. And he said every report that he made, every interview that he gave talking about his sighting of the Pukwudgie always ended with the same line. And I'll tell you what that is now. So this is a quote from Bill. He says, "Whatever it wasn't human. And it knew I was there before I even saw it." End quote. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to give you a brief timeline. I've got the details on these, but I won't go into every single one. They're all exactly the same, all state the same thing. They shoot some sort of arrow or dart. They're trying to lure you, and they mimic voices, and the physical descriptions are all the same. So apparently the first report of a Pukwudgie was reported by the colonists, and that was in the early 1600s.
Jeez.
It's a long time, isn't it? In all between 1820 and 1890, there are newspaper reports of early settlers that all say that they saw a little green man or little green men. The settlers simply called them goblins or little troublemakers. Then in 1938, several children in Freetown ran into school and told their teachers that they saw tiny men with big ears in the woods behind their home. The parents were also part of these reports, and they said that they could hear children crying in the night in the forest. Obviously, they checked that there was no children actually missing, and there wasn't. Then we've got 1954 to 1959. There's many sightings by teenagers that had gone to Ashen Ledge and reported being pushed towards the edge of the cliff by something small but strong. There's been small footprints near the edge, shadows running like back into the woodland, and a laughing sound. Then we've got 1977, a pair of hunters near River Fall report seeing two-footed creature, grey with glowing eyes, watching them from behind a stump. It says they describe as nearly human, but shriveled.
Same, babes.
I mean, that's
if the
fine.
shoe fits.
Yeah. So yeah, tiny shriveled humans. Then we've got 1982. A man hiking near Freetown State Forest claims that a tiny creature threw pine cones at him from a branch in the tree. 1988. Police received several calls from local residents reporting a small man running across the road, something tapping on the windows at night, and childlike giggles coming from the trees. 1990, you got Bill Rosso. Then 2001, a jogger in Freetown State Forest was nearly struck by a tiny arrow when he saw a child-sized grey wrinkly man on the trail. 2003, two hikers in the Triangle report hearing a woman crying, which transformed into hysterical, like dark laughter. I forgot the word. What's that word that you can't say? It was maniacal, I was going to say, but that's
that's not the word. No.
Malevolent. Now I can't say it.
Malvolent.
Oh yeah, malvolent. That's it.
Yeah.
2006, paranormal researchers record testimony from a local woman who claims a small creature threw rocks at her late at night. She described as, this is a quote from her, like a toddler, but wrong. End quote. Wrong toddler. Then we've got 2012. There was a report 2014, another report in 2017, a report to the authorities in 2020, another report in 2021, and this was a couple reporting a creature throwing small stones at their tent in the triangle. They described a silhouette of the size of a preschooler. And then we've got 2023, several locals in the Fall River area claim to have seen, quote, little grey people, end quote, crossing the road at dusk. I've also got a whole load of information of actual, like the reports of Pukwudgie sightings, but I'm not going to go into them. But what I am going to do is I am going to put all these sightings reports into the case file on our website. So yeah, because the only reason I'm not going into all of it is honestly is because it's same. They all report that it's about 2 to 3 foot high, nearly hairless, wrinkly, sort of greyish in colour, just like a small troll, basically.
Yeah.
And they all tend to do this like mimicky voice, which is like creepy. So one of the things, I'm just going to move the screen.
I'll be interested to see the reports, because can you imagine ringing the police and saying, there's something in the woods. There's like, it sounds like a child, but it doesn't really sound like a child. And it just keeps like laughing and taunting me. And also something keeps tapping on the window. Like, can you imagine making that phone call? Yeah. Go back to bed, Karen.
Yeah. Put the bottle down. Go to bed. Oh, do you know, one of the things that I thought, I wonder if that's like, I wonder if we're thinking of it as a cryptid and it isn't, was the fact that Bill in his report said that behind the Pukwudgie there was like a black void, and it kept saying, come here, like it wanted them to like it wanted him to go towards it. And I thought, what if it's something from like another dimension or something like that? But hear me out, there are a lot of missing people in this world. A lot of missing people. What's to say that the Pukwudgies haven't actually? Because if it said, come here, I would go. I would.
What, you want me to go into that void with you and never come back? Yeah,
that black void. That black void that gives me the sense of terror and dread. All right. But I'd be so curious. I'd be like, there might be something really good. What's to say that people haven't done that and just never come back again?
Yep. No, you're very, very true.
I need to know, man. I don't know. What do you think?
So, I'm reading a book currently, and it is like book 11 of this series, and it's called Keeper of the Lost Cities. And basically, hear me out, right? Because it's not, it's a fantasy book, but some of it makes a lot of sense, right?
Okay.
And it's a book about elves, but not elves as we see them, but basically they have an infinite lifespan. And it's called the Lost Cities because they have their own cities. They don't live with humans. Humans are there, but they don't live with them. But once upon a time, they shared the land, the world with humans, and they built the pyramids, and they did all of these things because elves, they have magic, and they did all of these things. And then they realized, actually, humans are taking us for granted, and humans are destroying the land. Let's preserve ourselves. And they took themselves away. So all of the things that we now write in our history books, the elves are like, from a distance, they're like, well, that's not really how that happened, or actually we was responsible for that. And the same as we write about dinosaurs, they've still got dinosaurs in their lost cities, but they are like covered in fur or feathers or something like that. So they're a bit different to how we write them down, but that's because things get lost over time. And there are instances where they can travel back to the like human world, and they have also got little like gnomes, trolls, things like that, all in their little lost cities. And they could be things that we all used to live amongst but got taken away from us because of our greed and selfishness.
That makes perfect sense to me.
I know it does. It's a very, very good book, actually.
Makes perfect sense. I mean, look at what we're doing.
Yep. And so they segregate themselves, and they're like, no, we can't get involved. We can't let them know that we're here because they would take advantage of us. We've left them to their own devices now and be it upon their own heads. That's kind of the view that they've got of humans.
Basically, they're like, fuck it, we tried.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah. You know, we did try, but so yeah, and it's quite an interesting take on things.
Yeah.
Especially the unexplained things that we think, all these like weird things that happen that we can't explain, like Stonehenge, like the pyramids, all these things that happened.
Because there's so much in the world that we just don't get. Like, I don't know, like, well, why is that? Do you know what I mean? We go and we look at the pyramids, and we go and we look at Stonehenge, and we're like, oh yeah, cool. Take a picture, also, take a selfie with it. But really,
do you know, I don't know what it's called, right? But a couple of years ago, an artist made a giant bunny rabbit out of like...
Yes, I saw it.
Have you seen it, right?
The pink one.
So, the pink one, yeah. And it's just on the hillside. It's massive. And it was just this pink giant bunny.
Yeah.
Right? But over time, it has started degrading and it has started getting growing stuff on it. In 100 years to come, people are going to be like, what the fuck is that?
What
they're going to have no idea.
What was that?
Yeah. Why was that put there? Why was that built? We're going to have all of these questions and no answers, when actually it was just some dickhead created a giant bunny on the side of the hill. So we're looking into all of these things. Stonehenge, what does it mean? Could it be the way that they're planted has something to do with the sunlight, the rotation of the world, the rotation of the moon? You know, but actually, it's probably some artist gone, oh, they look nice there.
Plonk.
Plonk. I've got these big extra stones. I've got nothing to do with them. Here they go.
I think with the pyramids and with Stonehenge, my question is not often why, it's how.
How?
Yeah, how did you do that? Because we didn't have that technology, or did we?
Yeah, and it got taken away from us.
I honestly believe that a lot of these people that go missing, it could be some sort of other dimension, or some sort of, oh, I've got hiccups, some sort of like portal that people fall into or wander into, or something like that. I just do. I just think that there has to be something.
I think that some people go missing because sometimes, like, I often think sometimes if I'm out for a walk or something and I think, if I was to die right here, no one would know where I am. No one would be able to find me. And I think that's like, for instance, the story of Aaron Ralston.
Yeah.
Okay? If he hadn't have sawed his arm off, he would have gone hiking and then gone missing. We would have no idea what happened to him, no idea of his struggle, no idea of anything. And he probably never would have been found, ever. So he would have been amongst those missing people.
Yeah.
I think sometimes it's just a case of that he just not found.
No, I get that, and I think, you know, and we've done stories. I think was it the Bell Witch where they find the body in the tree? I can't remember.
I don't remember.
But I mean, there's been
Juliana Kopke. If she
Yeah.
hadn't have made it out of that forest or the jungle, we would have had no idea that she'd survived that plane crash.
No.
And she'd made it, however, 10 days living in that jungle. We would have had no idea.
No, I do get that with a lot of cases. I think at some point, you know, maybe in the future, they'll find the remains of that person and be like, oh, how sad. They obviously fell down that gap, and you know, they've been there for the last 50 years or something.
Like the guy behind the fridge.
Yeah.
Or the Joshua Maddox in the chimney.
Yeah. I mean, that, for me, that's honestly, that is my worst nightmare, and it must be for billions of people, is that you're gonna slip and fall somewhere, and then like no one's able to find you, and you eventually just die.
What was that poor boy's name that just parked his car up and reached over the back seat to get his phone, and then the seats flipped and he got trapped and died? I can't remember his bloody name. But, you know, these things happen and they are rubbish. But if for instance, they hadn't have found his car, he'd been parked up somewhere and not found his car, he would have been amongst the missing.
Yeah.
I just don't feel like people are going missing because of voids and things. But also, I do think that is with some of the cases. I really do, because there's just like nowhere they could have gone. Do you know what I mean? Like they searched. I mean, a Bryceless Pizza. What was that? Bryceless Pizza, yeah.
I was talking to Lewis about it at dinner, about Bryce, you know, the other night. I'm not saying that he went into a portal or a void or anything, but I just can't work that out. It still really bothers me. I would love to have some kind of closure for his family and find. I mean, I'd love it if he turned up and turned out that he was alive and he just had a bit of a mental break, maybe.
A lot of people go missing in water because then water carries you. So I think a lot of just disappearances where you think, geez, what? Because there's another one as well. And I've gone to write the story quite a few times. It's very, very similar to Bryceless Pizza. And I will do the story because it's on my to-do list, but he basically crashes his car, phones his parents, and then while he's on the phone goes, oh shit, and then hangs up, and then he's never seen again.
I think I know that story, and that's
very, very similar to Bryce.
Yeah, because I get confused with him and him. Is he trying to walk to a nearby town?
He says, meet me at that town. There's lights. I can see the lights. Meet me at that town. And they're like, we're here. We can't see you.
Yeah.
And he's like, I am here. And then all of a sudden he goes, oh shit. And then that's it.
Yeah.
You never hear from him again.
It sounds like his phone goes underwater or something.
I've not heard that part of it, but I've not researched it fully yet.
Yeah. No, I definitely would love you to do that.
Yeah, it's on my to-do list. It's one of those ones that I keep thinking, oh, I'm going to do that one. I start doing it. I'm like, it's not gripping me at the moment.
Yeah.
I'll do something else.
Yeah. Oh, I just don't know about the Pukwudgies, you know.
I've got a bone to pick with Billy.
Billy?
Billy.
My Billy?
No. Billy who reported the...
Oh, Bill.
Yeah, Billy bullshit, to be honest, because you said that his story never changed. In all the times he told it never changed. That indicates that it's a rehearsed story. A lot of people say if somebody is given that same story and it never falters, that means it's not a genuine memory. It is a rehearsed story. Because memory naturally lapses if you you think back to things. You might have told the story a couple of years ago. You will change it a little bit, slightly, in the years to come, because memory does falter. Although
that's just other people saying that about him. Do you know what I mean? Maybe the reality is maybe it has changed slightly. I don't know. Or maybe he's got, yeah, I don't really remember, and it was a long time ago. I don't know. I've been to Massachusetts a lot, and I just don't remember ever seeing it. I've just looked at where Freetown Ledge and Ashen Ledge is, and it's about maybe about an hour away from where I would normally go. I mean, it looks beautiful. It looks like a place that's probably been in a lot of films.
Oh, right. It is interesting that it's
actually that
happened
really
around a triangle.
Yeah, it really looks like the cliff ledge bit in Stephen King's It. I don't know. I would like to think that next time I go to Massachusetts that I will make an effort to go there and see what I can see.
Definitely.
So if I don't come back, then I've been
You've
taken
gone into
by
a
the
black void.
Pukwudgies. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So yeah, there you go. That is the legend of the Pukwudgie.
All right, cool. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Before we go, can I show you my fingerprints that I took?
Oh yeah.
And I want you to, can you see them?
Oh, very good.
Can you see how liney they are?
Yeah, I can see your crack from here.
Yeah, they're not supposed to be like that.
Are they?
No, everybody else's fingerprints are just like the fingerprint. Mine's got loads of like scars in them.
Why?
Because I had such bad eczema on my hands for so many years that it's like caused those deep ridges and scars.
Oh my God, mate.
So
you could never do a crime.
I know. I would be caught straight, or they wouldn't even need to look at my ridge patterns.
They would just analyse it.
No, they would just look at those scars and be like, that's Sarah's.
That's Harvey.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Go get her.
Yep. Yeah, because through all the scars, you can hardly even see the ridge pattern because it's so scarred. It's crazy.
Oh.
But everyone else was doing their fingerprints, and I was like, oh, Jesus, mine are mangled, man.
Mine are fucked, mate.
Absolutely mangled.
Oh.
But yeah, there you go.
Can I show you my Vecna?
Yeah, go on then. Oh, yeah, you started doing it, hadn't you?
Yeah, it's pretty much finished. I just need to airbrush a couple of bits. Hang on. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Bloody heavy, you know.
What? Of course it's heavy. Look at the size of it. Right, well, that's creepy as anything. Did you 3D print all of that?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. That's so creepy.
It's cool, isn't it?
Yeah, really cool, but also very, very frightening. You could sell that for a lot of money.
As I drop it and smash it.
Smash it to smithereens.
Yeah, it's quite nice.
Yeah.
Well, let us know if you want a giant Vecna head.
And wall mounting.
And yeah, we'll knock you one up.
All right.
Right. Have we got plans for our next recording so that we can tell the people what's what and me? What are we doing?
We are
the next episode is a blam?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. The next episode will be a blam, yep.
Okay.
And hopefully will come out at the appropriate time.
Oh yeah, on the Tuesday would be
good.
Yeah, so next episode blam, and then we're going to release a chatty episode on
Christmassy one.
Yeah. Are we doing that on Christmas Eve?
We can release it because Christmas Eve's on the Wednesday, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or the Tuesday, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Whenever.
Yeah. All right.
Well, thank you very much.
Good. Cool. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Bye.
All right, bye.
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 If you have enjoyed listening to our episodes, make sure you rate us and leave us a review on whatever platform you are listening.
We absolutely love hearing from you guys. So you can also help support our show by donating to our Buy Me a Coffee link. We will make sure that you get a massive shout out and a big thank you in our next week's episode.
You can also follow us on social media at Perplexed Podcasts. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and if you want to see more videos and blooper reels, subscribe to our TikTok and YouTube channels.
You can also email us your stories at perplexedpodcasts@gmail.com.
And you can find all the relevant links in the episode descriptions. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Nearly headless? How can you be nearly headless?